Hello, friends, and welcome to your Daily Detroit. It is a beautiful day in the Paris of the Midwest, Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. I am Jer Stays, and joining me across the table is none other than local royalty, the Prince of Brightmoor himself, Norris Howard. How are you?
Yes, we have now matriculated, as I always say, over to Midtown as we bring the spirit of the West Side with us, and we meet Jer Stays, the spirit of the East.
Why is matriculated your word of the season? Because this season is a matriculated word.
Because it's happening a lot in Detroit. There's a lot of matriculation in the city as people are having conferences at new places, new businesses popping up, new people coming to the city. We love to see it.
Well, let's talk about a new apartment building that's going to be happening. We're giving an update on a controversial housing development in Detroit's historic Boston Edison neighborhood. The city's Board of Zoning Appeals recently approved a plan to convert a vacant 1920s building into 49 income-restricted apartments with retail space, despite some strong opposition from neighboring residents. Now, to be clear, there were a lot of people who were behind this, but there were also some that were not. There is definitely a tension in parts of the city that have been seeing an uptick as of late. The others saying, hey, I don't want more development and things near them. Homeowners were arguing that the project will cause parking shortages, reduce property values, and change the character of the area near Barry Gordy's former mansion. The developer says that they're revitalizing a long empty building while preserving historic architecture. I have strong feelings on this, but as I said, the Zoning Appeals Board, they voted it. They voted in the affirmative on this one, 7-2. So this project is going forward. This was an appeal because people did not like the original decision. I have very strong feelings on this, and those strong feelings are build, baby, build.
My strong feelings are I want people to stop treating Detroit like how suburbs treat Detroiters. And what I mean by that is just because we're now in this area where we're starting to see more people move back, starting to take responsibilities of some of these dilapidated properties, can we stop with the NIMBYism, man? Like, we need people. We need density. We need these neighborhoods to come back in ways that allow people of all income levels. And I will repeat this. We need neighborhoods to allow in people of all income levels. That includes rent-controlled apartments to be in every neighborhood of Detroit. Every single solitary one. And that means, yes, I'm including the Sherwood Forests and the Palmer Parks and the Boston Edisons and all of those. So for me, the residents, I don't live over there, but y'all was wrong on this one. This is moving forward. And now a building that you was looking at that was an eyesore that was already reducing your property values now will be used for something, and that will only increase your property values. What are we talking about?
I was just over there because I was looking for apartments. That place looked like hell.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how anyone thinks there's any other better use for that building. For a long time, it did a lot of social services, things like that. Having apartments is a good thing. And when we talk about income restriction, a lot of times it's about affordable housing for workforce. It's not just about like Section 8 and things like that.
No.
And that area needs those residents. And you know what? A little congestion, I think, is great for a city. Why? Because if Detroit is a city, if you want to live where there's no congestion,
there ain't no people, ain't no businesses, ain't no energy.
I'm tired of this back and forth of like, well, I want all these things, but I don't want anything to change. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm frustrated at this point because the comments are getting absurd and they're in stupid season.
No, they are. And the thing is that this particular BC approval is going to allow retail at this site as well. Right now, all you could use, you can't do anything with it until this zoning ordinance went through. And now you're going to be able to have residential and retail. So what does that tell us? That tells us that there are now going to be a service or multiple services that will be available for the people of Boston Edison. Why would you be against this? And the only reason you would be against this is because you're rich and a jerk and you just don't want to live next to people who are poorer than you. And I'm going to be honest with you. You live in Detroit. You live around a bunch of people who are poorer than you. Get over it. Like, we got to just be realistic about this kind of stuff. And Sure, there are certain neighborhoods that are going to be more affluent than others, and I want people who are affluent to move to the city. But also, you got to realize you're not moving to Beverly Hills, dog. It is what it is.
Along these same lines, there is a City Council Central Planning Commission meeting on Thursday, July 31st from 5 to 7 p.m. for public feedback about zoning reform. I know a lot of listeners have asked me about that. Zoning reform is key in that it will allow more kinds of developments to happen in the city. You look at the maps, and a lot of the city, you can't develop more than single-family housing. Sometimes you can't even develop duplexes, and this wouldn't change everything everywhere, but it opens up some options. A lot of the zoning for the city of Detroit is from an era, the 1950s, where that city's not here. You know, I, as listeners will long know, I recently moved to the east side.
Mm-hmm.
You drove me home the other day.
Mm-hmm.
We got it. We're not that there aren't residents, not that there aren't community groups.
No, but there's work to be done.
There is so much work.
There's work to be done. And the zoning, as I've screamed about it on this show many times, the zoning is a big barrier for a lot of that. Recently, the city undertook some redefinitions of zoning that will allow people to sort of redevelop the storefront church problem, which I still think we have in the city. It will allow people to turn storefront churches into retail or residential. It depends on what you want to do and what neighborhood it's in. But that's a big thing. Those are, in many cases, big dilapidated properties that nobody has been able to take control of because they were zoned specifically for religious purposes.
I was talking to one of my neighbors who's been living on the block off and on, but for the most part, since the 1960s, telling me about all of the corner stores that used to be
in
and
each
the
neighborhood
houses and in the neighborhoods and all these things. And he's like, I want that back before I die.
Yeah, and that was a big thing, man. The corner store used to be such a staple of many cities across America, but definitely in Detroit, where, you know, you didn't necessarily have these major hubs of apartment buildings and whatnot. And so I think it's incredible that we're starting to see some movement on this finally after years and years.
I know you're a healthier man than I. However, there is something very special about Detroit corner store pizza.
Oh, yeah.
In the foil wrap.
Absolutely.
Get a couple of them stacked together.
That was the jam. That's what we used to do every day after school. Like, it was a corner store right there on Grand River and St. Mary's. And we would leave school, we get right out there, go to the corner, get some pizza, and, you know, some pop or whatever. And then we would take that. And then Little Caesars came out with the hot and ready and just blew up the corner store pizza market. I think that was a big thing.
Corner store pizza is better than Little Caesars.
I don't disagree. But it was the availability.
It's the availability and the price.
And the price.
Yeah.
So once that came out of nowhere, it was rough. But yeah, man, corner store stuff. And also, corner stores were a mark of a healthier society. Sure, you might have been going to get chips, but you were walking.
Not going to argue there. Some news from the Willis Show Bar, a place I remember opening a little over 7 years ago in Detroit's Midtown. They say on a social media post that they're pressing pause for the summer, that they're going to temporarily close the doors for the remainder of the season. They say that operational costs are rising. There's a big summer lull as far as attendance. And they say that they hope that they can return with a sustainable future, one that supports both the music and the community. I remember when this thing went in. It's just a beautiful venue.
Gorgeous.
And I put this out in our member-only Discord. You can join us if you're a member, patreon.com/dailydetroit. And, you know, someone made a really good point about covers and how covers are higher. And that is true at a number of performance venues.
Yep.
But I also think that there's just been like this shift in going out. I really hope that they can find a way forward for the Willis because they spent a lot of money to redo it. I don't know all the details, but I really love that kind of urban jazzy kind of feel with things. And I mean, there's always Cliff Bells, and I love Cliff Bells. But Willis just had its own kind of vibe to it.
It was in a neighborhood. It was in a true blue neighborhood. It's not like it's not like Cliff Bells, which is downtown. It has a different feel. It's not even like Sig's Go Room or Baker's, right? Baker's also another classic in the neighborhood. But the thing about, you know, Willis that was dope is that it was nestled like deep in the neighborhood. You couldn't get to it unless you kind of knew where it was. But the beautiful thing about venues like that is they felt like specifically they are servicing the people around them and specifically servicing that Midtown market. I think for me, where the disconnect felt is because there is so much of the student community there, and the summer law probably does come from so many less students around. But also, it's like when you got Bronx and you got 3rd Street, which is open back up, and then you got the wine bar over there. And it just feels like there's so many choices in Midtown specifically, even Barcade and, just so many, Old Miami, so many other places.
The new Roar Brewery that just opened.
Yeah, the Roar Brewery, which is right next to Barcade. Like, there's just so many choices down there that I think, are hearkening back to a 1960s style show bar, 40s, 50s, 60s style show bar. I'm not sure how many younger people are into that sort of move.
Well, you got to set yourself up in a way that you bring in, your regional destination with this kind of unique concept. I also wonder how much of this is that greater shift. People are drinking less.
They are.
They're going out less. I that's to my chagrin.
Yeah.
But it's also a reality that there's a pretty generational difference. And I get it in the feedback.
Yeah.
Of
people
like 35
are eating,
and under.
They're still eating. They're going out for food. They're just not going specifically to bars. Like, that's a big thing. The drinking culture is very different when Gen Z and below. Food, everybody likes good food.
Well, the thing about that, though, is that with all of these bars, it's younger people who go out and spend more of the money. It's not like I've stopped going out to bars, but I'm now in my mid-40s. I just don't got the time.
Yeah, you don't have time. Whether it's young people do, we had a young people who come down from the suburbs or live in the city in the colleges, the grad students, the weekend warriors. We can have all that stuff. But, when drinking is just significantly so much less of part of the culture, I think we're seeing what's happening to alcohol in certain ways, what was happening with cigarettes in the late 90s and the early 2000s. Like, remember when everybody smoked cigarettes? Everyone? And then it was like over the course of 10 years, no one smokes cigarettes now, virtually. Like, it's just a very interesting cultural shift.
I'm curious if you've been to the Willis Show Bar, if you've got thoughts or want to share more, send us an email, dailydetroit@gmail.com. All right, real quick before we go, I have word that a People Mover station is going to be renamed.
Oh, which one is that, Jer?
Joe Louis is going to become Water Square Station.
You know what? That makes sense because Joe Louis Arena isn't there anymore and Water Square is. So that's cool. I would love if maybe one of the other stations got renamed something about Joe Louis just cause it was cool to have some honoring Joe Louis in the city with his name, not just his edifice or his giant arm. But yeah, it makes sense. Why not? Why not, man? It's the Water Tower Station now.
Do you know my hidden little dream?
Okay.
One day, it just can be for one day. One day, I would like to be the voice of the People Mover.
I think it should be more than one day. I think it should be permanent. I think
you're way too kind.
No, I think like
welcome to the Bricktown station.
Yeah, I think like maybe we pick like one station. See, that would be cool. That would be so cool if it was just
different voices. Like, who's got a great voice? I didn't realize how beautiful his voice was. Sheefy McFly.
Oh, yeah.
When we were out at Global Citizen, he did the live painting. Go look at our Instagram.
Yeah,
there's a live painting on there.
A thick Detroit accent.
That is just, imagine that at
That'd be
Grand
great.
Circus.
Yeah. That'd be great. That would be fantastic. Just like, yeah, y'all have reached the Grand Circus Station. Like, it would be great. Like, we would love that if you voice one of those, man. I think we should do that. I think, listen, People Mover people, if y'all listening, D-Dot, whoever runs the People Mover, I don't know. But whoever runs the People Mover, I think y'all should reach out to 10 to 15 local luminaries and get them to voice each station at the People Mover. And then you can change it up seasonally. Yeah,
it's a little different. Like when you're going to Chicago, you want a consistent voice, right?
Yeah.
It's you have to know your bearings. By the way, next week, we don't plan on missing episodes, but I will be going to Chicago with my partner.
Yeah, so tell me all kinds of cool stuff.
Oh, get this. The plan is, the place we're staying is literally just off of the brand new Red Line stations.
Oh, fantastic.
I am so pumped.
That's cool.
Beyond belief. But, you know, in Chicago, you want that in a bigger system. You want that consistency of Clark and Lake or something like that.
Yeah, but also
like on the People Mover, you can switch it up a little bit because if you miss your stop, just go around again.
That's true. But I think also, like, I've heard specialty voices at different, you know, transit stations in cities across the country. I think it's a cool little nod to the city and to the people that provide this tapestry of culture.
Well, we have an event that we need to go to
Yeah,
on the future of local news. So we got to end the show now. We're heading over to the Detroit Athletic Club to see Chuck Todd.
That's right. Chuck Todd of Meet the Press NBC fame. We're going to be talking all about local media and hopefully a few more things. And it should be an interesting conversation. A bunch of us journos should be there. So, yeah, a lot of the usual suspects should be in attendance.
And we will discuss it on our live stream because that's what we're doing on Wednesdays now.
That's what we do on
Somewhere
Wednesday.
around 2:30.
Yeah, man.
On YouTube, we will be doing our show as well as our live stream with your reactions and mailbag. So email me, dailydetroit@gmail.com if you got stuff that you want added or a voicemail, 313-789-3211. We will play it. The live stream will be coming from our studio at Techtown. Very excited about doing that. And we reach just like a whole different group of people.
And I love it, man. The folks who end up sliding into our chat during the live streams have been incredible. They've asked incredible questions. They've had conversation amongst themselves, really, really contributed to the quality of the live stream. And we would love to see even more people in it. It is something that we are doing for y'all just to give an extra avenue of content, as well as kind of having some slightly more unfiltered and less structured conversation. Allows us to be a little bit even more real.
So check that out on the YouTube channel. Put a pin in August 9th, Saturday, August 9th, the afternoon. We're doing a live show at the Old Miami. Put a pin in that.
Yeah, show up, man. We want to see y'all in the human zoo.
I like to think of it as a dog park for humans, but human zoo works.
Yeah, it's the human zoo for me.
And of course, thank you to our members on Patreon. Patreon.com/Daily Detroit, because local media needs local support to survive. With that, I'm Jer Stays.
And I'm Norris Howard.
Thank you so much for listening. Remember that you are somebody, and we'll see you around Detroit.